Off Somalia's northern coast, crew members aboard the USS Harry S. Truman's flight deck operated with precision honed through countless engagements. The carrier turned its bow into the wind, generating a 34 miles per hour headwind critical for optimal aircraft launch conditions. Amid the salty sea air, the roar of the ship's engines blended with crashing waves, forming a tense symphony of modern warfare. In the briefing room, pilots received final intelligence on their target, a fortified cave network in the Golis Mountains, sheltering one of the region's most dangerous extremist groups. Below deck, weapons logistics teams finalized arming 12 F-18 Super Hornet jets with BLU-109 bunker-busting bombs. Each bomb underwent meticulous inspection, from its hardened steel casing to its programmed fuse, ensuring peak penetration against the Golis Mountains limestone and reinforced concrete. The aircraft's weapons management systems automatically verified targeting parameters and release sequences. The squadron commander conducted a final review of the operational plan. The mission demanded coordination and precision only these jets could deliver. The air traffic controller issued the launch sequence order through the ship's communication system. Catapult control crews moved into position as the first F-18 taxied to the starting point. The catapult officer signaled the launch. With a powerful jolt, the first F-18 accelerated from 0 to 170 miles per hour in 2 seconds. The engine's roar drowned out all other sounds as the pilot felt the force pinning them to the seat, eyes locked on the short runway ahead. The remaining jets followed, launching at 30-second intervals. The formation climbed to 20,000 feet before banking east towards Somalia's coast. Upon entering Somali airspace, the group split into attack units. Each 4-jet team was assigned specific targets within the cave network. The lead pilot activated the targeting system, monitoring data linked across the formation. Mission planners had ruled out F-35S and Tomahawk missiles. The task required a robust fighter capable of carrying the fleet's heaviest bunker-busting bombs. The F-18 Super Hornet offered unmatched payload capacity for carrier-based strikes. Unlike other naval aircraft, it could carry 17,750 pounds of external ordnance, an 80% increase over the legacy Hornet. This allowed each jet to haul multiple 2,000-pound penetrator bombs while retaining defensive weapons, eliminating the need for separate bombers or escorts. With internal fuel, the Super Hornet maintained a 518-mile combat radius. This range enabled jets from the Truman to strike deep into Somalia without immediate refueling, providing critical tactical flexibility. For extended loitering missions, aerial refueling could double this radius. Few anticipated that the often overlooked skill of aerial refueling would prove vital today. Combined with other factors, this made the Super Hornet the ideal tool for the operation. Its selection reflected unique tactical advantages over other options. While Tomahawk missiles could hit the cave network, they lacked real-time targeting flexibility for mobile high-value targets. The F-35 stealth was unmatched, but couldn't match the Super Hornet's heavy payload, essential for bunker penetration without sacrificing range. The mission required the F-18's blend of large payload, extended loiter time, and agile targeting, enabling the formation to hit fortified targets initially while maintaining air presence to engage emerging threats. The squadron had a narrow window to catch the extremist leadership vulnerable. Pilots received continuous mission updates as the formation flew east over the Red Sea. At 10,000 feet, the formation commander confirmed each jet's position, dividing into 4 3-jet groups, each tasked with specific mountain targets. The units split off, maintaining radio silence until an unexpected report came in. Ground forces reported clashes 3.7 miles east of the primary target, as intelligence had predicted. The extremists, aware of the attack, were retreating into the cave network, using heavy weapons under cliffs to pin down Somali forces. The formation needed to neutralize this position to force the fighters into the open as they fell back to a secondary point. The lead jet descended to 6,000 feet, hugging the terrain to avoid radar detection. Cockpit displays lit up with data from the targeting pod, revealing faint heat signatures behind rocks, like ghosts moving in the dark. Pilots observed concentrated heat signatures near a cave entrance via the pod's display. Ground scouts used laser designators to mark the entrance, emitting an invisible beam only the jet's sensors could detect. 4 jets synchronized their approach angles, reaching the weapons release point nearly simultaneously. The first 2 Super Hornets rolled inverted, banking at 45 degrees. At precisely 4,200 feet, the weapon systems released the first BLU-109 bombs. The bombs followed a ballistic trajectory, their laser-guided noses locked on the target, making fine adjustments during their 12-second freefall. No explosion was visible from the air. Instead, the bombs burrowed deep before detonating within the cave network. The ground shook. Dust and smoke billowed from mountain crevices like the breath of a wounded beast as explosions rippled through the chambers. Secondary blasts erupted from within as munitions stockpiles ignited. This was achieved by deploying specialized weapons designed to penetrate rock and concrete before unleashing their destructive force. The BLU-109 bunker-busting bombs carried under each F-18's wings combined massive weight with a design tailored to defeat fortified targets unreachable by other weapons. Weighing 2,000 pounds, each bomb packed a 535-pound warhead, nearly double the force needed to collapse reinforced cave structures like those in the Golis Mountains. The BLU-109's hallmark was its penetration capability. It could punch through 8 feet of reinforced concrete or burrow 20 feet into packed earth before detonating. Crafted from high-strength steel alloy, the BLU-109's reinforced nose maintained its shape on high-speed impact, allowing it to drill deep into targets before exploding. This penetration was enabled by its hardened steel casing and specialized nose design, preserving structural integrity on impact. The bomb's programmable delay fuse was critical for subsurface strikes. Set to detonate 25 to 100 milliseconds after impact, the bomb penetrated protected structures before unleashing its blast. The shockwave radiated through stone corridors, collapsing inner chambers and obliterating everything inside, from weapons caches to command posts. This allowed the shockwave to propagate through internal chambers rather than dissipating against external barriers, maximizing effectiveness against cave and bunker networks. The BLU-109's penetration turned an impossible mission into a feasible one. The extremists chose the Golis Mountains cave network for its natural geological protection, with limestone formations reinforced by concrete and multiple inner chambers. Conventional bombs could only seal entrances, leaving internal structures intact. However, the BLU-109's deep penetration and internal detonation generated immense pressure waves, collapsing chambers and inner structures. The result was a chain reaction. Munitions stockpiles detonated, passages were blocked, and those hiding inside had no escape. Yet, the primary target remained at large. With the mission's initial phase complete, 8 Super Hornets throttled up, accelerating away from the target area. The formation commander checked fuel status. Prolonged combat maneuvers had consumed 40% more fuel than planned. 4 jets were nearing bingo fuel, the point of no return to the carrier. Without additional fuel, they would divert to Djibouti, disrupting the mission's second phase. Electronic fuel warnings flashed on cockpit displays. Sweat beaded on pilots' foreheads as they realized time was running out, and every decision could determine the formation's fate. Remaining fuel levels displayed on digital screens, confirming what the commander already knew. They needed a tanker immediately. A radar signal appeared 30 miles west. 4 Super Hornets approached in a staggered formation, each carrying a different loadout from the strike jet's weapons. The lead tanker signaled readiness as the first fighter eased into formation, slowing to 288 miles per hour. From the tanker's center line, a hose extended, connecting to a drogue basket swaying in the airflow. The pilot carefully maneuvered the refueling probe from the jet's nose into the oscillating basket. Every movement demanded absolute focus, aligning precisely in turbulent air, with wind whistling past the cockpit as a reminder of altitude and speed. After 2 attempts, the probe locked with a metallic clunk felt through the airframe. Fuel flowed at high pressure, filling the fighter's tanks in just over 60 seconds. Mounted beneath the F-18, the D-704 Buddy Street ore refueling system transformed a standard fighter into an airborne gas station. Designed for harsh combat conditions, its high-pressure pump and reinforced hose ensured no fuel was wasted. With a transfer rate of 220 gallons per minute, the system could refuel an F-18 in 75 seconds, critical in combat when tanking leaves aircraft vulnerable. Each Super Hornet configured as a tanker could transfer 8,000 pounds of fuel to other jets while retaining enough to return safely to the carrier. This capacity extended a 4-jet formation's time on target by over 90 minutes, turning a brief strike into a sustained campaign. 30 minutes after refueling, 4 Super Hornets maintained a circular holding pattern at 18,000 feet, scanning the mountainside below for movement. The initial BLU-109 strikes had collapsed the cave network's main entrances, forcing surviving fighters and high-value targets to use hidden emergency exits scattered across the slopes. These secondary entrances were exactly what mission planners had anticipated. The weapons officer on the lead jet detected a heat signature on the central display, emanating from a narrow crevice on the eastern slope. The targeting system automatically flagged the anomaly, displaying precise coordinates. Figures moved swiftly, hugging rocks for cover. The lead jet banked sharply, positioning for a better sensor angle. The weapons officer studied magnified thermal imagery from the underbelly pod. Clear images of 12 figures emerged, some visibly carrying weapons. After thorough analysis of enhanced imagery, identification confirmed armed hostile targets. The lead jet's targeting laser activated, automatically sharing coordinates across the formation's network. 2 jets broke from the group, descending to 12,000 feet to release weapons while maintaining a safe standoff distance. Each dropped a precision-guided munition, with the AT-FLIR system guiding them throughout their flight. The munitions streaked downward at lethal speed, each locked onto the target by an invisible laser, striking with unerring accuracy. The system's battle damage assessment immediately confirmed 12 enemies neutralized. This success owed to the high-tech targeting pod mounted under each Super Hornet's right intake, a system that turned night into day and rendered solid rock transparent. Known as the Raytheon AN, ASQ 228 ATFLIR, Advanced Targeting Forward-Looking Infrared, it delivered unmatched targeting precision for carrier-based strikes. Equipped with advanced infrared sensors and an integrated laser system, the ATFLIR acted as an eagle's eye, piercing darkness and dust to pinpoint targets with astonishing detail. Operating at ranges up to 46 miles, the system could detect, identify, and track human-sized heat signatures, even when partially obscured by terrain or structures. Using mid-wave infrared sensors and advanced image processing algorithms, it generated crisp imagery despite adverse weather or thick dust. This extended range kept jets safely beyond mobile anti-aircraft weapons while maintaining targeting capability. With a 3.6-foot resolution at maximum range, it could distinguish armed fighters from civilians and even identify specific weapons carried. This resolution stemmed from the pod's enhanced mid-wave infrared sensor, operating in the 3 to 5 micron band, detecting minute temperature differences. Additionally, the ATFLIR's integrated laser designator provided sub-3-foot targeting accuracy at combat ranges, enabling precision-guided munitions to hit specific areas like cave entrances. This was critical in the Golis Mountains' complex rocky environment, where targets could hide behind crevices or in shallow caves. This capability was vital to the mission, and unfortunately for the enemy, it marked only the beginning of further strikes. The operation dealt a severe blow to the extremist group. The cave network's main entrances were completely destroyed, burying weapons, caches, and infrastructure inside. 12 fighters and several high-value targets were neutralized in the second strike, disrupting the group's command structure. However, some senior leaders reportedly escaped through secret passages before the strikes began, leaving questions about the campaign's next phase. The Super Hornet squadron returned safely to the Truman, with ATFLIR data providing critical evidence for intelligence analysts, paving the way for follow-on ground operations.